Today in VR, Walkabout Mini Golf hits another hole-in-one with its new Atlantis update. Samson shares his thoughts after a week of use of the Tilt 5, and Update 49 is here, bringing a few frustrating bugs along the way. All that and more, so let's talk Oculus. Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 72. I'm your host, Dan from Playtest VR. My co-host, as always, Samson. How are you doing today, good sir?
I am doing well. That R is just an AR pronounced.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. A little hint to what's to come in the episode. You went on vacation. How was your vacation?
Oh, Puerto Rico is quite the time.
Yeah.
Quite the time. It was a blast. Yeah.
I don't see like a little suntan going on there.
I got a little peeling going on over here. Yeah.
You're at that stage. Did you bring your VR headset with you?
No. So I did. I had to carry on. That was all electronics.
Yeah.
But it did have my Switch, a couple Pro controllers, my Steam Deck, and I brought like an Xbox controller in case I wanted to use it with the Steam Deck. And that's about all I did like fit the VR headset in there because I did plan to bring it, but it just felt really tight and I knew I had to like jam it under the seat, and that's where my feet were going. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this behind.
Was that you were trying to pack it in without the case, or?
Oh, I don't have a case, dude. I got no case.
Oh, so you're just jamming it like naked?
I normally carry it around. Usually it's like alone in a bag with clothing, so it's just like in a soft like.
Right.
But yeah, this time it was with all the other electronics, and I was like, I don't feel great about this. And I actually got stopped on my way back randomly. Like that bag got selected to be randomly checked, and she's like, "You have any electronics in here?" And I just looked at her, and I was like,
"Let me tell you,
I have quite a few. This is going to be fun." And then oddly, she only swabbed my phone and the Switch for bomb residue, if you will. But she didn't touch the Steam Deck.
So you're seeing that big, heavy Steam Deck that could kill a man if you threw it at somebody was not swabbed for bombs.
No. My Switch was, yeah. And I used the Steam Deck both flights for about, I don't know, probably 2 hours each way.
Yeah. And battery was fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. I also had like a big battery unit, if you will. But I didn't come close to it. I think it got down to like 40s probably on the way there.
That's fair. But there's some would say when someone has a Steam Deck, they do no longer need your Switch. But I guess they're portable consoles. You might as well bring them both. It's a good time. You're out with people, quite a few people, right? So it's a good party device.
11 of us. Yeah. So we got some Mario Kart in.
Yeah.
And then my other friend had those, what are those, Jackbox?
Yeah, Jackbox games. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, therefore. Yeah, so a good time was had. But not much VRing. Not much VR.
Not much. No. And actually, a couple of I was bum hurt because a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, I was hoping to get my first VR experience here." I was like, "No, you're killing me. Now I'm gonna have to drive to New York."
Yeah. For that, I mean, I remember last year especially, you were doing a tour around in terms of giving people their first experience with Quest. So maybe we can pick that up again.
Now all the easy people are, already had that experience.
Yeah, that's fair. When were you on the vacation? So me, I'm just thinking of what I was doing in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, been watching obviously The Last of Us on HBO. I know you haven't started watching it yet, so I'm not going to say anything. But it was funny because in the Discord, I forget who asked now. Was it Liana? I think, or Lena?
I believe so.
Lena,
yeah, I believe so.
Was asking if we were gonna do like a Last of Us episode, just because it seems like a lot of other podcasts who don't even talk about TV shows are starting to do it. But I wouldn't be opposed as like a bonus, maybe on the
Yeah.
Patreons or maybe just like throwing in a random episode with a standard episode at the same
Or a
time.
short.
Yeah, or a quick short.
Real
or
quick.
something.
Real quick.
Just
Yeah.
real quick. Yeah, it's great. Okay, done. It's done. But yeah, no, I've been watching The Last of Us and really enjoying it, to be honest. And I've also been playing The Last of Us on PlayStation because I thought it'd be cool that each episode is so true to the actual game.
So you've been playing it with the show.
Yeah. So I'd watch the episode and then play on the PlayStation like later on that week and go up to the part where it ends on the episode and then just stop and then go, okay, next week and such. It's kind of fun to get the action parts in the middle, the gamified. But yeah, that's kind of been me. I mean, as we'll talk about in a moment, Walkabout obviously is out as people are listening to this. Walkabout Atlantis. So Atlantis, not Atlantis. Atlantis came out. So luckily, I think both of us got early access, so managed to play it. Not together though. Not together.
No,
but
not yet.
Played it.
Maybe by the time this airs.
Yeah,
or on the day it airs.
Maybe. I mean, we are planning, if people are listening to this podcast on the day of it airing, we are in the Discord doing a Walkabout meetup for Atlantis, the new course. So if you are listening to this, you just started and you kind of want a game, normally we play around 9 to 9:30 Eastern time, which is 6 to 6:30 Pacific time. So yeah, if you want to do it, join the Discord, of course. That's the way to play. But
boom,
Samson,
come on down.
You played any VR when you came back at all?
Oh yeah. I got in. So mostly Tilt 5, but I did get some VR in. I played a couple days in Firewatch VR.
Yeah.
That mod. And then a little Walkabout. We played a little Among Us with some pod people.
Mm-hmm.
And then little Synth Riders. And
Nice.
Brandon had quite the input. It was the first time I played Among Us VR where it felt like the Among Us strategy from the flat game that I sunk 170 hours into was like applied, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how that feels.
Wait, what was that strategy? Just so people are aware.
Just like utilizing the different placement of things, knocking down the reactor when doing a kill on the navigation
on the other side or something.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
No, like Brennan from our Discord, it was the first time I've ever played with him. I think ever in terms of any game, and yeah, it turned out to be for the listeners who don't know what happened in that game. There was 2 imposters, because I think it was a full house at that point. 2 imposters. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the imposter was Kimberly, fan of the show, and she was found out very quickly, very, very quickly. And then it was just one left, and he didn't win. Brennan didn't win, but he got right to the end. It was either
he was down to one of 3, I think.
1 of 3, yeah. So it was either, and even then it was like a toss of a coin of who it was. And I was as a ghost because I went out quite easily, I got killed easily. I was just following him, and he would go into a room when no one is here and still pretend to do
the faking of tasks. Yes.
The faking of tasks. Even if there's no one around him, he would still do it just in case someone's watching. And I was like, right. I normally just I probably don't do any faking in tasks and just run around and see what people are doing. And
yeah, I just get flustered. Yeah.
There was a real strategy to Among Us. There was a real strategy to it. Yeah, not just running around. But let's start the show in the VR world. Actually, let's talk about Walkabout first.
Talk about Walkabout.
Wait, I just realized that on the video podcast, people, you wearing your toque or beanie or woolly hat.
But it's
on your head.
Yeah, it's a little hot. It's a little hot, but I still got to show off the merch. So
you're just like balancing it on top of your head.
Well, yeah, it's just on top of the headphones. Yeah.
I just realized it looked like you were wearing like one of those flat caps or one of those
beret or
French
something. Yeah. Nope. Come get some merch, people. But it is warm, and it's not that warm. And although I am wearing obviously this, but just a t-shirt under this, The head.
How's the weather? How's the weather in Boston, by the way? Because I was watching the Buffalo Cincinnati NFL game, and it was in Buffalo, and there was so much snow. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
we
And
don't
I
get
know
we
it's a
don't
bit
get quite
far
that.
difference. But
Yeah, we don't get that. They get like a lake effect, so they get a
yeah,
lot more snow. But we did get a few inches. It was pretty terrible yesterday. But it mostly melted today, although it's supposed to snow again tomorrow.
yeah. Fair enough. I mean, that snow must have came from somewhere. I believe it comes from the oceans, where below the oceans
No,
is
the snow
Atlantis.
comes from the sky.
But then the ocean, rises up, and then this.
Yes, the
I'm trying to make a
precipitation.
good segue to Atlantis, and I realize it's pretty far stretch of a segue, and you're just
Yeah.
killing me. You're just like
Yeah.
saying no, this is not the
Yeah,
right.
it was a great. It was a great.
Anyway, Walkabout Atlantis, the first course of 2023 from the Walkabout Mighty Coconut, and it is the fourth one in Lost Cities, I believe, and there will be a total of 5. I think they first announced when it comes to Lost Cities. Atlantis is on a lot of people's list in terms of what they want to see, and when you saw the poster where it was all divided, and you're like, "Ooh, underwater one," and they kind of teased us with the 20,000 leagues under the sea in terms of being underwater, but you were still in a ship, right? Where this is you're actually underwater. And I remember you saying on the last podcast, like, if you're underwater, wouldn't it still feel like you're outside? And was that the case, Samson?
I mean, probably mostly, yeah. Outside of like fish flying around, and there's some bubbles, but you don't feel like you're swimming.
No, you don't. No, not unless you're flying. I was like, when I was in there, I was like flying, but I was like, oh, I'm technically swimming around now. Yeah, I should maybe move my hands like this, but
without it feels like you should do that.
You feel, yeah, exactly, but then you start moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Without getting into too many spoilers in terms of like the fox hunt and how good the balls are. I don't know if
luckily I haven't done the fox hunt.
Fair enough.
I did find like 10 out of 18 balls, only to unlock the hard mode, and I just flew around the hard mode. But
okay, fair enough. So let's start with the easy mode first, because it really feels like 2 different courses in a way, right? Let's start with the easy mode first. What was your initial impressions of it, and how did you do when you first played that easy course?
Well, you feel like you're under the sea.
Under the sea.
All right, I played the first 9 reasonably quickly. I was like trying to get through it. It was before work. I knew I just wanted to hop in. But it felt reasonable, like not too challenging.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like there were kind of like ripples in a lot of them.
There's a lot of contours, but I believe it like ripples of the seabed in a way.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I did kind of like that. And a few of the balls I found were quite beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I didn't actively look for the balls. I think I did for the first hole and then kind of stopped, but I think I only found 2 or 3 total. But you're right in terms of how easy it was. I thought I think I got like a -7 or -10 on the first round, which was which was fun. But the aesthetics of that course, so when you press the A button and you have you're in the scoreboard area and you can see it, it's we say this every time. They always outdo themselves. I really think they outdid themselves on another level in terms of how beautiful it is.
So I like that view, but then if you start flying around a little bit closer, you see there's like statues laying down, like that have knocked down that the court is like take up 1 or 2, 3 holes or whatever. Like this is pretty intricate. It's very cool.
Yeah. It's really well done, and there was a lot of contours in it, but it made a lot of sense. I remember like some of the higher holes as you kind of climb up a little bit at one point. Just before, I think hole 12 is like the long ramp with the big bumps. If you remember that one, but you did the first 9, right? So once you're on like hole 11, hole 10, 11, 12, kind of you're pretty much high up, maybe almost at the highest peak, almost, because of you've got other holes later on. but I kept stopping and just having a look at
Just look around.
look around. It's so peaceful, and yeah, you obviously like it's hard to make you feel like you're underwater, right? Of course it does, but I always think like every time I see someone's fish tank and they have like millions of fish in there, and I could just stare at it and feel automatically calm. And I felt the same way as like I felt incredibly calm. And when I just stopped and just watched the fishes, and you got the sea turtle swimming and the shark as well. And
I do like the music as well. The
music,
was-
yeah, I was gonna say that the music is fantastic. The music's fantastic.
It slaps.
It slaps, but like it gently strokes your face rather than slaps, right? That's how lovely the music is, to be honest. But yeah, any more thoughts on the easy mode?
No, I want to move on to the hard.
Okay, so tell me what you messaged me when you went to the hard mode, because you went into the hard mode before I began playing it.
Yeah.
And you said one thing to me, and please tell the viewers or listeners what you said.
Well, I don't remember word for word, but I'll explain what I said by explaining
how your experiences.
Yeah. So I booted up hard mode. I found my 10 balls, and I was like, yeah, hard mode. Let's check this baby out. And it boots up, and I was just taken aback. I was like, oh my God, each hole is glowing. It feels like you're in a day glow, like black lights everywhere. The coral reefs like popping, got pinks, you got beautiful colors.
Amazing.
And I flew around. It brought me to tears, and I just flew around saying, I was like Owen Wilson, just wow. I think started tearing up.
That's the thing. I think that's what you messaged me. You just went, I cried. I think that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, this is so beautiful.
Yeah. The night mode is, yeah, I don't want to get into too much. Obviously, we've said it, but I don't want to get into too much. But I noticed it as soon as I unlocked the night mode. I saw the image of it when you're in the shack, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And when I clicked on it, I immediately knew exactly what you meant in terms of how you cried. I mean, I didn't cry myself, but I was like, wow. Because I don't know about you, but in fact, Dave also had a friend of the show who's also had early access because he's our like cameraman when it comes to Walkabout. I was playing with him, and he noticed we were in the easy mode, not in the easy mode, sorry, in the practice area, that there's flames, there's like torches in the practice area, and he noticed that the torches looked more vibrant than usual because they did have the update for Atlantis also included a bit of a
whole overhaul,
and they made it a little bit prettier and such, and he noticed that straight away. So when we went into the night mode and saw everything glowing, it was like, oh, okay, this is why it needed the upgrade, because it really I don't know. I'm curious to find out from Edward and the whole Walkabout team in terms of how many resources that it's pushing on the Quest 2, with all that lighting effect. But yeah, the lighting effect's amazing. I actually emailed them afterwards, and I said, you know what would be amazing is if we could have glow in the dark balls as well, because that would be like top tier if you could have glow in the dark balls for the course.
That'd be sweet.
And he said,
I didn't golf it. Did you golf it?
We did the full 18 for both. Yeah, me and Dave did the full 18 for both. Much harder than obviously the easy mode as it's meant to be. I think I scored like plus 11 because I think I maxed out on 2 of the holes. There's one hole which has starfish everywhere. Ooh. And this is kind of difficult on the easy mode, but it's very difficult because the star is such a weird shape. So it's kind of to bounce it off there, it goes everywhere. And me and Dave actually agreed that collectively this is probably the hardest hole out of the whole Atlantis. No, just out of the whole Atlantis, because like it's hard and easy, and it's like really hard in the hard mode. But yeah, no, I loved it. Like straight away. I mean, it's easy to say this because it's like the most recent one, but straight away I'm like, wow, this could be contender as #1 course when we eventually do another ranking at the end of this year for just the 20th. It could be #1 straight away because it's so damn good.
Definitely in aesthetics.
Definitely aesthetics. It plays well too. I mean, you'll definitely play it soon, if not when this podcast comes out anyway. So yeah.
Played it tonight.
Played it tonight. Yeah, playing it tonight. Join us on the Discord. Any more thoughts on the walkabout?
Nay.
Okay, so before we move forward, I just want to talk about our sponsor for this episode, because this episode is sponsored by Beyond Frames Entertainment. They are part of a team which created a game called Silhouette. Is now on the Quest Store as you're listening to this. It's out on the 26th. Silhouette's by a team called, I can't pronounce their name properly, so I'm sorry for the sponsorship, but can you pronounce that? Is it Panopetis?
Panops? I don't know.
Panops, yeah, Panops might be the studio, Team Panops, but it's from the studio that brought you a game called Panoptic. The game, this is the synopsis, okay? They say it lend a helping hand in its first of its kind relaxing puzzle adventure. Use your hands, no controllers needed, to cast shadows and guide the island's gentle creatures to safety through 28 unique puzzles, a chill soundtrack, and tranquil environments. Silhouette is currently scheduled for January 26th as the episode is aired. What are you going to say?
Oh, go on.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Done? Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. That's Silhouette. So thank you to our sponsor.
It's Panop. Hold on a second.
We should have heard this.
It's Panoptes. Panoptes. It's Greek, apparently.
Panoptes. Team Panoptes. Yeah. Have you played Silhouette yet?
I played. I got in like a half hour or so.
Yeah.
Honestly, my arms got a little tired. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
You make little bridges kind of with where the light is with your shadow. You got a little guy. You got to get him to the other little area.
Yeah. So like to try and explain it to the listeners here, it's imagine, you know how you can cast shadows with your hands if the light's in a way, like you can make like a bird with your hand or like animals with your hand in terms of in real life, right? So if you put like a light and such, it's playing on that. So like you just said, you have to get a guy from or just a person.
Yes.
Diversity here. Person. It from
could even be an alien.
Could even be an alien, yeah. From
you have to get this thing.
I don't know if thing is a good idea either. Just sure. This character, how about that? Does that sound better?
Sure.
Okay. They're gonna
PC principal over here.
This is where they end their sponsorship with us. But so you have this character and you have to get it from A to B, okay? Essentially. But to get it to A and B, you have to use your hands to cast shadows so it can, like, say, for example, if there's you need to make a bridge with your hands. So you can kind of put your hand flat and then it will climb on top of your hand, i.e. your shadow, and get to B. And it is very relaxing. You use like a teleport system with your hands when you open your palm. And I've not played much in it either. I've only played half an hour pretty much as well. Definitely will play more of it for next week's episode. But I like the new take. It's a very unique take of that. So I'm excited to see how it goes. It only says 28 unique puzzles, so that might not be a long game, but maybe the puzzles get very hard.
I've done probably 5.
Yeah, I've probably done maybe closer to 10, but yeah, they might get more difficult. But yeah, thanks for Beyond Frames Entertainment.
I'm stuck on one actually. That's why I stopped. Well, I mean, I know that I was stuck. Like I said, I kind of got tired. I was like, I can't figure this out. It's where you can. It's where you can pick up. You can there's like a tree trunk.
Yeah.
And you can pick it up. I think you got to get them through or it through.
No comment. No spoilers here.
But, yeah, I couldn't. I was like, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It is hand tracking. I do like this. Not a lot of hand tracking games actually work well, and this one definitely did. And I'm not sure if it's because of how well they've done it, or just because with the new update, which we'll talk about in the news section. But yeah, anyway,
I didn't have any hand tracking issues. It worked really well.
No, but thanks to Silhouette for thanks to Beyond Frames Entertainment and Silhouette for sponsoring this podcast. On to the Tilt 5. You got a Tilt 5 recently.
Yes.
You got it as you finished your vacation, right? You came back and you picked it up immediately.
Yeah, I did. I had it delivered to the local Walgreens. and I picked it up right after I landed, after I ate dinner.
So before you kind of go into it, explain what the Tilt 5 is to people who have no idea what the Tilt 5 even is, because it's definitely not an Oculus product.
Yeah, it's definitely not an Oculus product. It's I guess they're AR glasses, and it comes with sort of a board, like a game board, if you will.
Yeah.
It's got like a silver shiny coat on it, and that's where the game appears. Like when you put the glasses on, you'll see that's your game board, if you will. And the glasses connect to the computer.
And it comes with a 2-pack, right?
I did get the 2-pack. You can
You
get
got the
single
2-pack.
pack, 2 or 3.
Right,
I believe.
right. I see.
But I did try to play a 2-player game, and I'm not sure my computer recognized both glasses, but I couldn't figure out how to get both glasses to see the game board at the same time.
Right. Okay.
So I guess
it's just some tweaking. Yeah, some tweaking.
I'm not sure it can be done yet. I know that like 2 glasses is kind of new, but we'll see. Hopefully I get that figured out. But
and you did an unboxing, which the patrons, by the time this comes out, have probably seen, and I'll post it in the Discord as well later on this week as well, so people can see your unboxing.
Yeah, enjoy that. I open a box and I show the contents of that box.
I thought it was pretty good. It was nice that it's definitely different from what we're used
to. So Tilt 5, there's not a lot of software for it, obviously. Brand new. So they've got some tech demos that you can download for free off their site.
Yep.
And then there's a bunch of flat screen games that you can also that have like a Tilt 5 mode. And then there's like I don't think that game actually was built for Tilt 5, but there was a flat screen game that worked better than the others that I tried. Anyway, I guess I'll go through all the games.
Yeah, go through what you played.
Okay. So one tech demo was called like Recube, and it's just a video where it starts with the Unity cube, and then it sort of transforms into various things, and you can resize them, make them smaller, and move it around. And that's very cool. Like it looks very cool. You're like, oh yeah, this is science. This is what's going to be used for
science.
But it's like a 2-minute video, and that's it. There's no like interaction really.
Right.
Next one was called Blown Away. This is actually built for Tilt 5 game demo, if you will. And your wand is a leaf blower, and you got to just blow the leaves out of the screen.
Now the wand looks like a kitchen lighter.
It looks like a long lighter, if you will.
Yeah,
a grill lighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very creative game. So like you loaded into the title screen where the title Blown Away is covered by some leaves. So you have to blow them away and then it's like clear. Now you can go to level 1.
Yeah.
And so you got the idea of how to play. And then there's a turbo button and to move larger objects. And there's about 3 levels.
Now, before you go on, I'm curious. Obviously the Tilt 5, you need that mat that you said that comes with the box, right? That mat quite big for a start. Is it quite large, or like would you say it's quite large? Or
I put it on like this table that's probably 2 feet by 4 feet, if I had to guess. Right.
Okay, that's fair. And other question is there a lot of depth to it, or is it like all the elements sit on top of the? Like I'm saying, like, is it a lot of 3D?
So that's what I'm saying with this Recube and with this Blown Away.
Yeah,
definitely 3D.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really
like cool. You feel like you're seeing your leaf blower is like your wand has like a leaf blower over it.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
And you can like peer around things, like you know what I mean. Like you can kind of look around. Then there was this game called Wrecking Crew. I actually won't call that a game. There was this app called Wrecking Crew,
right,
where you're just a little wrecking ball truck and you just knock down the buildings. All the buildings look the same, and it's like a 12 by 12 block, if you will. But it was pretty cool. As the buildings blow up, they kind of like come at you, they pop up.
Yeah.
But not much to do. Then there was Cubity Party. I don't know. I think this is a Steam game that you can also play flat. It's a Mario Party clone, but that looked pretty. It was like, that was cool. That was really cool. There was one that was like a track, and like you got to hop over the hurdles or whatever. It just looked really cool. It was one that like really popped.
Can you record your gameplay through the PC at all? Because I'm really curious of what it
100%, because it just plays the game flat screen on my PC.
Right. If
there's some way to like record or something, but I don't know. There's a YouTube video on it, I think. But
yeah, if you find a way to record it, if not, then probably just a video on it on YouTube. Definitely post it in the Discord, because I'm really curious to see what it looks like firsthand.
Yeah, I think you have to do it.
Yeah,
but yeah. Then the couple flat screen games that had like Tilt 5 modes. One was BattleBots, which is a Bomberman clone. That was actually pretty fun.
That's fun.
But it looked flat. It didn't
have much depth. Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. I think it was just like an online game where you're just playing with other people.
Are all of these free? Are they at the moment, because they're like demos?
BattleBots is free. Blown Away was free. I believe I paid for the Cubity Party game.
Sure. Okay, but you said that was one of the best ones, to be fair. So
yeah, and there was one other one I think I paid for, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. I don't know that I played it yet. Let me. Oh, Danger Scavenger.
What's that?
Wasn't that great?
Okay.
What is that one? Fast-paced action cyberpunk themed roguelite, and you just kind of like,
that's a lot.
It was kind of fun, but it was kind of hard to aim with the wand and like move your character around at the same time. Okay. The controller isn't ideal for like
first person shooters or something.
Yeah, for that type of shooter. Yeah,
that's fair. Can you get Demio on it? Is that a thing or not?
Not yet.
Not yet.
And Catan is supposed to be coming out too.
Because I remember they were doing like a demo of Demio in AR, and I'm not sure if it was with the Tilt 5 or with different type of AR glasses. Because it wasn't their Quest Pro. It wasn't the Quest Pro that they were showing.
I know they're in cahoots, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Catan is definitely in cahoots. Demio probably. And then I played the Marble, the Marble game that I played in VR and flat screen a decent amount. And that was kind of cool because like you use the controller as the
it's like a super monkey ball kind of thing, as you like you have to bounce. That's
but
cool.
It looked really flat, so like at times it was kind of hard to, and like if you tried to move your head around, it would like
go all over
the camera, because it's like where your head is where the camera is, so then it would just mess up. But the idea was pretty cool, but it didn't. If that game was built for Tilt 5, that'd be chef's kiss.
I mean, that kind of says everything about AR only at the moment. Where someone on Twitter said the other day, I can't remember who it was, where the best AR headsets are going to be VR headsets for the foreseeable future, and I can see why. Like, it's still a long way to go for it to become. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I played all of it, and I was like, "This is really cool." I showed it to my friend who stayed with me over the weekend. But in my head, I'm like, cost-wise, like,
how much was it?
I think the 2-person one's like $600 or $650, something like that.
Right.
I'm like, I could get a PS5 and a quarter of the way to PSVR for the price.
Yeah, that's true. But you are doing kind of like the Quest Pro. You are an early adopter of first-gen tech in a way, so. It's
just there's not enough software. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna hold on to it. At least I'm gonna play Catan for sure.
For sure. So like we had a couple of questions from Kimberly in the Discord about it. She said first one was, how does it fit in with your other equipment? Like, you have a lot of equipment in terms of you have VR headsets, Steam Decks, and all sorts of that. How do you think this will fit in your life, or is it just one of those, this is cool tech and play it now and again?
Yeah. So if I can get two people to be able to play from my one computer, like I'll use it when I have people over for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That like that's really how I see it, as like a board game night for your
Mm-hmm.
family. But it's like not at that price range.
Mm.
I don't know. The two people one is like a reasonable. I felt like the next one up, like the 30-person one's like $1,000 or $950, something like that.
So each like
Thing is like
each
250 to
glasses
300.
is is around that, and you can still
Well,
buy
yeah,
additional
glasses
ones.
and wand. Yeah, I don't know that they sell them individually yet, but yeah, that'll definitely be a thing.
Okay,
But
that's
yeah, I
fair
see it
enough.
as like playing Mario Party. You're playing Catan, like you get around the table, but the like I don't know. I mean, also it's got to be wireless.
I was
Eventually.
about to say because so it's obviously tethered to the PC. Do you? I don't know if you remember this, but is it high system requirements or do you remember? I don't know.
There are like it needs a graphics card, but it was a
Sure,
pretty low graphics card from what I remember
fair
seeing in
enough.
the min specs. It was like some sort of 980 or something.
I just realized the second question was what will you use it for versus the Quest and PC VR, and I think you pretty much answered that.
Yeah,
In
I mean,
terms of
as like new software comes out, I will try it, especially if it's free.
Mhm.
There's a couple games I put in my wish list in Steam that are like $20 that have Tilt 5 modes.
Yeah,
And I'm like curious to try, but not for that price. Um, yeah.
yeah,
So I think it's mostly going to be like a cool thing to show off for now until like if I had somebody like a roommate and Catan and I could play Catan with that, you know what I mean? Like
that's cool. Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be the way to play it. You never have to
Oh,
clean
for
out pieces.
sure. Never to clean the pieces, and then probably
And
add some interactivity.
it packs up those of you who've watched the unboxing video, it reboxes the inverse if you watch that in reverse. So you just keep it in there and it's very easily stored.
You telling me I should post a reversed one of that
Yeah,
video?
call it
Just
a boxing video.
but
Unboxing and then a boxing.
how to unbox and how to rebox,
Yeah.
I mean, reboxing videos are probably not a thing, so we could be the first reboxing, and that could be a craze like unboxing was. Who
We're gonna
knows?
go viral on TikTok with our reboxing ad
I can
video.
see once again I can see like another game like chess, like a two-player board game like that working really well, or checkers or something like that too. Like
Yeah, I mean, in some sort of crazy world where I have insane amounts of self-discipline, I teach myself like I try to develop some sort of app.
sure, sure.
There's a tabletop Steam game that
Mhm.
I believe is free. That claims it has a Tilt 5 mode, but the game is called Tabletopia.
Right, tabletopia.
Tabletopia. Uh, and it did. I struggled to like figure out what the heck was going on through all the ads.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But overall, like you're decently happy with it. Like, did it match
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
excitement?
But
Yeah,
like I said, I'm like, damn, when PSVR comes out, I'm gonna see that and I'm gonna see this. I'm gonna be like, there's
yeah,
more. There's not even a lot of software for that, but I'm gonna be like, I do kind of want to play that.
yeah.
But
And
we'll
it's
see. This is new, and I've just got to give it a bit more time.
yeah, it's new and it's different. I agree. I agree. No, that's amazing. Fantastic. Okay, so that will do it for part one, and part two we will pick it up for the news.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
Okay, welcome back to part two. This time we'll talk about the news and just a really brief mention first. The Quest 3 got leaked by Sadly It's Bradley back in October, and I probably covered it back in October, I'm assuming. But I just want to quickly mention it Yeah, most definitely. Just want to quickly mention it because the renders for it got released. Like, there was a person who took what was leaked from Sadly is Bradley and made it into actual CAD models. And I was just really curious because I saw a nice picture where it was compared to the Quest 2 in terms of how big it is and such, and it was compared to the Quest Pro. And I'll have it up on the video version if you want to see that. But I was very happy because I trust Sadly is Bradley. Like, he was
way more flat.
Way more flat. Yeah, it's what I kind of wanted, where I wanted the Quest Pro in a Quest 3 in terms of the design. And I'm glad that you can remove the strap and such. I'm glad that's still a thing rather than a fixed one. But that's what I wanted, because Samson, by the time we record the next podcast, it'll be the end of the Quest Pro for me. And
you're not going to keep it?
No, it'll be returned. I can't justify it just because I use it. If I was using it for like Gravity Sketch and Figma and XR and painting with Vermilion and mixed reality and such and having a great time that way, then I can see the appeal of keeping it, and it's cool tech. It's kind of like having the Tilt 5. Like, it's definitely priced high, but it's cool tech to have. But I use it as a Quest 2, as like a Quest 2 Plus. Like, every time we play Among Us, every time we play any game, but definitely like Among Us, I'm always picking that headset up because it's on the dock, it's ready to go, and it looks better. Like, the quality does look better, it's sharper, right? I wonder actually what Walkabout looks on both. Maybe I can probably compare that, or maybe not. I still have one more week of Quest Pro, but it'll be the end. But what I was hoping for is that the Quest 3 has a similar kind of design with the pancake lenses and just obviously be more VR focused. And that's what the renders look like. And of course, they're renders and they could be completely false. And it does look pretty ugly with the three, like circle kind of lines, bars, on the front. Which are due to because there's 4 cameras on the front and meant to be a depth sensor and such. But yeah, I'm just glad that it's, when I saw the leak from Sadly is Bradley, because it wasn't rendered CAD models, it was just the CAD model. It looked like it was the same kind of size as the Quest 2 in a way, just more curved or something, but it looked very similar. But then now I saw the renders and saw with the dimensions compared to the Quest Pro, I was like,
it's way thinner. Yeah.
It's pretty much the Quest Pro with its VR cover on, essentially. And I really like that. And apparently it has like charging dock points at the bottom too, so you'll be able to have a dock. And most likely the dock won't come with it. You'll have to buy that separately, but I like the idea, and third parties can probably get behind that and make some good third party docks as well.
For sure.
So I just want to mention that.
Third parties.
Did you have any thoughts on that, or it's like more of the just?
No. I mean, that one's exciting. It'll be $300 to $500. It'll be affordable.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, exactly. That's obviously a day one for sure, but that's in October. Moving on to the next news story, the Quest got its V49 update, which brought a lot of home stuff. So there's a new home environment called Abstraction, which I actually haven't tried yet. I don't know if you've tried that.
I've not tried it. I did see it in a video or something. It looked abstract.
Yeah, you can now sit on the virtual chairs and couches. It allows you to teleport onto them. Mostly family stuff. So you now do not disturb mode for notifications, and there's family stuff.
I do have to turn that on.
Yeah. But the family center is actually quite nice. So there's a new website for any parents listening to this. Familycenter.meta.com. Center spelt the American way with the center CENTER.
You didn't even need to say that.
I feel like I need to say it because I spelt it wrong many times as I was writing the script, and I was like, it doesn't even look right. That's not how you spell sec. Anyway, it's just I know it looks the opposite for you, but on there you can just go on that website and control what's happening on the Quest 2 for your kids, so you don't have to take it off them. You can just do it from the comfort of the website, which is quite nice. But that's it, really. It's not like a major update. They also put hand tracking 2.1, which even though it's 2.1, they said it makes a significant change for hand tracking.
Yeah. I mean, like I said in Silhouette, it was working really well.
Yeah. But I'm assuming you don't have many thoughts on the family center.
No. No, I don't. I don't keep track of any children.
Fair enough. Let's move on to Thrill of the Fight. Thrill of the Fight 2 got formally announced. Ian Fritz, the actual creator of it,
Wait,
as always.
wait. It wasn't formally announced before.
No. Ian Fritz kind of like, if someone mentioned to him, I know I did too. I remember tweeting when I had the Thrill of the Fight video, which is still my most popular video at almost 400,000 views.
Oh,
which is,
$500,000.
Which is
on
mad.
The horizon.
And anyway, I tweeted that out and I said to him, I said, the only thing it's missing is multiplayer. And he said, it's coming in Thrill of the Fight 2. So it's already everyone knew.
Yeah.
And I think Sea Lost Interactive were the main developers or main like publisher studio behind that, unless that is his publisher. I'm not sure. But now it's developed by Half Brick Studios, which you probably recognize that name because they make a lot of VR titles, to be honest, Half Brick Studios. And it is also going to be co-developed by Ian Fitz, which is nice. Here's something that I didn't know. The original Thrill of the Fight 1 came out 6 years ago.
It's a good amount of time.
6 years ago. So this is the quote. I just wanted to mention it because it's quite interesting. I wish they had like a little bit of gameplay or just like a proper screenshot from the game, but they don't really have that. But anyway, the quote was, although what makes the first game great is the authentic nature of the gameplay, we feel like there's plenty of room to improve the mechanics to make the fights feel more fair and more realistic. If you are landing the bigger combinations and blows, you should be winning the match. Improving the audio and visual feedback in the game will let players know how effectively they're dealing the strikes, allowing them to make adjustments mid-fight to get the win. So right now, Thrill of the Fight is like, let's beat the crap out of this person as much as you can, and it's a really good cardio workout. And I think it still plays better than Creed. Even though Creed's now much more improved, it's still, I think the mechanics are still better than Creed. But Creed pees all over it when it comes to the visual presentation and such. And I think Creed's probably more successful because of that, right?
You think Creed's made more money?
I think so. It's $30 and it's everywhere. And it's coming out on the PlayStation VR 2 as well. It's pushing it like it's everywhere. It seems to be the...
I don't know anybody who plays Creed or owns Creed.
Me neither too, to be honest. That's a good point. But I see Meta pushing it so much, I feel like it may do. Yeah. But then Thrill of the Fight's only $10, so it is much cheaper and easier to get to. But do you play Thrill of the Fight at all, or is that?
I mean, I used to. That was one of my first games that I played a lot. Dude, yeah. That really messes my shoulders up though. Like I'd be sore for days. And I'm like, why can't I scratch my back or open doors or do anything? And I'm like, oh yeah, I played Thrill of the Fight for 15 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because
it's fun though. It's a good workout.
It is really good. Just before this podcast, I actually did my first ever boxing class, which is like a private one-to-one, just because I don't know how to punch to save my life. So as you can probably see if you watch that Thrill of the Fight video, I got so many comments saying, sorry mate, you can't box, blah blah blah, like absolutely ripping me, and I'm just laughing. I'm just like, I know I can't throw a punch to save my life. But as I found out in the boxing class, I realized the reason why my shoulders are hurting is because I'm not really using my body to throw the punches, and that's why the shoulders hurt even more. And I'm just like bang, 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 really quick, and it just
need that torque.
Need that torque. It's all from your hips. Yeah, it's all from your hips. So
like baseball.
One of the main things that they're going to have is multiplayer, which is going to be great.
It's exciting. Yeah. Wait, did you know that Half Brick Studios made this next game?
No, but it didn't surprise me. Actually, okay. Do you want to say what this is?
Yeah, Fruit Ninja 2. Slices up before release in spring 2023. Fruit Ninja 2 has been in my Steam library for so long, and I've still never booted it up.
Yeah, because it's early access on Steam, isn't it? For $20. Yeah. So I assume it will be $20. The cool thing about it is they introduced like archery in there as well. So there's different ways to kind of, I don't know. I was about to say.
I mean, it looks cool. It looks like Fruit Ninja. I played the original Fruit Ninja on the Quest. That was once again one of my first games that I bought because I was like, this is something I recognize.
Yeah.
But I do think they've really improved in Fruit Ninja 2. And, you know,
it visually looks great. It visually looks really good.
Is it coming to Quest or is it just Steam?
Coming to Quest as well. Yeah, coming to Quest as well. And
I guess I'll have to play it then.
But and there's a multiplayer mode available in there too. So there's different ones. I think there's a challenge mode where there's specific games, and then there's also just a straight one-to-one battle who can do the best score and such. Didn't announce too much, but that actually had gameplay that comes out in spring 2023, as you mentioned. And I never thought of buying this game ever, just because I remember playing this on the iPhone way back in the day. It was one of the OG apps too. And it'll also be like, it was like, what, 99 cents or $1.99, and it was sick. It was a great
cheap,
game.
yeah.
But $20 for me for Fruit Ninja feels like way too much. Like, it feels like it should be a $10 game. So I'm not sure if I would go for $20 for this, but maybe it's so improved, and I don't know. We'll see.
We will see.
Slices up a full release on spring 2023 is a fun way to announce it, though.
Yeah, you need a good pun.
I like what you did there.
It's a juicy pun.
It's definitely a juicy pun. Walkabout Mini Golf we've already spoke about, but just wanted to mention, because it was news about it, that they now will charge $3.99 rather than $2.99.
$3.99.
You just scared a lot of listeners driving their car. What the hell? Yeah, $3.99 is unbelievable. Like, it's so expensive for the Walkabout course. Like, I feel like boycotting the game now.
I'm never gonna buy another one.
Just for people listening, I know me and you got the early, but as soon as you update to the public release, we have to buy the game again. So, and we're absolutely buying this one, obviously, like every other course. I'm glad
we do keep our unlocks, though.
Yeah. We do keep all the balls that
Suckers.
we find. Yeah, get it a week earlier. Suck it. I'm kidding. I'm glad they put this up. It needs to, because they do so much work for $3.99. It's mental. But their quote was, "Hey folks, we wanted to let you know that with the release of Walkabout Atlantis, new DLC courses will increase to $3.99 USD up from $2.99. With our courses being increasingly sophisticated, without a doubt, this change will allow the team to put the time needed into making each one spectacular and feature filled as possible. As a small independent studio, we are so appreciated by our players embracing the game and encouraging us to charge a little more as we move. A move we've resisted, but now feel it's both appropriate and worthwhile." And I think it is also the right time to do it. It's always like first New Year, all the subscription prices and everything normally go up a little bit. It's common, so it's actually the right time to do it. But yeah, I think we've been saying on the podcast all the time.
They should have a subscription.
Yeah. I wonder, I think they also announced that, and I think they mentioned this before, where they will release it in packs. Yeah, well, you can just buy the Lost. But in a way, yeah, so that'd be good for new players. At the same time, you really should just buy them all. Because every single one, whether you hate Tethy Station because how hard it is or not, is worth every penny. And Tethy Station's not even DLC, so it doesn't even matter.
I was going to say, I don't think I paid for that one.
No. Final news story, real quick one. Altspace was Altspace.
Quick one, 11,000 people lost their job.
Yeah, that's true. Let's just slow down.
Microsoft kills off Altspace VR amid major layoffs, and they also killed their mixed reality toolkit team.
Yeah, I know somebody actually from Microsoft who got laid off because of this. They weren't working on Altspace, I don't think, at all, but they were just in there, and they just one of the many. And obviously, getting laid off sucks, and it seems to be the thing that's just normal in tech industry right now because of a potential recession coming up and tech companies realizing that they've over budgeted or something like that. There's all sorts of reasons, right? And
yeah, I mean, there's people making millions of dollars, but
yeah, of course, yeah. The ones higher up always make millions of dollars. But for anyone who doesn't know Altspace VR, it's actually a niche because people obviously know Rec Room and VR Chat, which are the main players in this space. Horizon Worlds is kind of coming in just because it's meta, but Altspace was one of the OGs as well as social networking in VR. I think it's one of the first things I downloaded on my Quest, to be honest. Yeah, because I've never been in. It was free. No, I didn't like it just because that's not what I wanted to say. Like Horizon Worlds, I'm not going to go in that either. It's just not what I wanted. But
what's his name? It was on our show. He's done a stand-up comedy show in there.
Yes. I now forget his name. Now you just said
Obscure Nerd.
Obscure Nerd. Yeah. Yeah, he did do comedy shows in there, which is pretty sad for him and the community. But like I said, there are other social networking, so I think that's going to be okay. But I'm not going to read their quote out because it's just
we're good. Yeah, we
dark.
don't need you to stumble through that.
No. No, but yeah, it's a shame that 11,000 people, or was it 11,000 or just like
yeah, it was 11,000.
Yeah,
and I think there's gonna be more slowly
as we trickle. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that was the VR news. In part 3, we will go through the games out this week and anything else. We'll see you then. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube, Spotify, and even Apple Podcasts. And if you really like us and you want to throw us $1, join us on patreon.com/letstalkoculus. Back to the show. All right, welcome back to part 3, games out this week and anything else. As always, Samson, kick us off. What is one of the first games that is out this week?
First game is Remio, out January 26th, which is today on airing. Remio is the VR app for fun, engaging meetings. Ooh,
that sounds so much fun. Sorry, continue.
Host private sessions from large-scale all-hands events to intimate team building discussions with your remote team. Remio's flexible, secure platform is a great way to collaborate and connect. Remio, the best meeting of the week.
Sorry, before you read the rest, any of that sound real fun to you?
Honestly, this could all have like a real hard sexual context to it. It can be just read through that lens, and yeah, sure, I'm interested.
Okay, the reason why I put this in the games
is this free? Is this app free?
I don't know. It says coming soon, so I don't know. But the reason why I put this in, I know we don't really normally talk about these type of apps, but it's for the next part. So read the next part.
Engage in interactive experiences in games, team puzzle races, paintball, hide and seek, space-themed escape room, archer tower defense, disco room, bar VR, Pictionary, red light, green light, the Zen room, basketball, and many more arcade-style mini games. Honestly, this seems like the Hangout games combined with like something else.
That's what I mean. Like as soon as I saw space-themed escape room and such, I was like, hold on, this needs to be read out on the show because this is not your average meeting type. And now going back to the start, a VR app for fun, I think they should have led with that.
Obviously, yeah.
Rather than engaging meetings. That's the first.
I mean, I find if you try to do everything, you do nothing well. But
yeah, it's kind of the master of none, jack of all trades kind of a deal. But I'm actually now curious to see if it's free. I'll be jumping into seeing, maybe we will be hosting our Let's Talk Oculus meetings or something moving forward. I don't know. Seems very distracting, but it is what it is. Okay, so the other game is what we spoke about, our sponsor, Silhouette. Using only your hands, cast shadows to solve challenging puzzles in the relaxing and casual adventure game. Explore the island and manipulate shadows, light, walls, and environments to guide the gentle my script is cut off, creatures. The Shaodwies. Oh, Kick says Shaodwies.
Yeah,
ain't no humans or aliens. These are Shaodwies. Is the
they actually
character.
Prefer Shadow Eyes.
Oh, the Shadow Eyes. Shaodwies. The Shadow. It's my script. I'm going to read this. Shaodwies to safety. The hand tracking game is played completely without controllers. Key features: 28 unique puzzles, hand tracking controls, cozy soundtrack, and tranquil environments, as we mentioned before.
It's not written Shaodwies in the for all those listening. It's written Shaodwies. Shaodwies.
That's true. That is because I've just copied and pasted that straight from the MetaQuest store. I mean. So
it's not Shaodwies, it's Shaodwies or something.
Or it could be Shaodwies.
Yeah, it's some. Write us in how to pronounce Shaodwies. In fact, they're probably listening to this pod.
I'm curious to how much this game's going to cost actually, because I think if it's $20 or $15, that might be fair. But with only 20,
right? All right. After my first half hour, I thought if this is $15 and you're interested in trying something hand tracky, something cool like that, yeah, probably worth it. But I just did first impressions. But that did cross my mind. I could pay. I could play more. $20 could be like that point. 10 feels cheap, so I'd say 15 or 20. Above 20, too much. 1999 is like the cutoff. I'd say. Like
I feel like you've overthought this.
Yeah, I overthink everything. Come
on. Yeah, I will play more of it for next week. They sponsored next week's show as well. So we'll talk about it again, but I'll add some more because I'll play.
I'll read the sponsorship next week.
You read the sponsorship. I shall say that I've played more because I would have played more by that point.
Pretend.
I should just play. Yeah, pretend. Oh yeah, it's great. I'm kidding. It's actually I like the unique idea of it, even if it's sponsored. Obviously, there's a bit of bias, but I do like the unique one. But I will still tell you my proper thoughts next week after I've played game properly. And give you even if it's sponsored, we still want to be genuine here. So
yeah, I too will give my proper thoughts.
Anything else before we end the show, Samson? Is there anything on your mind that you're going to play this week that you're buzzing to?
Well, I'm going to take a quick pivot here because I've been playing this legacy game, aka flat screen game called Disco Elysium, and it's an RPG text-based, no fighting or anything. It's all pretty much conversation, making choices. Right. And I sunk 11 hours into this in the last 36 hours. So I'm gonna try and crush that a bit more, and fit in, obviously some more VR, probably some more Firewatch.
Must be a great story that they're telling them.
It's weird, dude. It's really not a game that I would normally, I'd say, but I started playing with my friend who's visiting because I know she loves RPGs, and yeah, it's a lot of reading, and they do voice acting, so you can sit there and listen, but it goes a lot faster if you read it, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Basically, you're a drunk guy who wakes up and you're like, where am I? What's going on? Turns out you're a cop and you're solving a murder, and boom, you got to talk to people and figure out what's going on, who you are. How about you?
Actually, speaking of the flat games, I was looking on the PlayStation, and Dead Space, the OG Dead Space. I don't know if you can hear the dog in the background, but the OG Dead Space is out on Friday, so out tomorrow for people listening, the 27th. It's a remastered version of it, completely remastered. It looks dope. Yeah, it looks fantastic. And I never played the first one properly because I was young and too scared. It came out for the 360, early 360 as well. And I remember playing the first half hour and I got way too scared playing it. But I feel like now practically all my physical PlayStation games are horror. I have Resident Evil Village, and I'm keeping it just for VR. I have The Quarry, which I love. And now I'm going to add this. And definitely, Resident Evil 4 comes out on PS4 in March too, and that's already on the list too. So
can you buy the OG? You can't buy the OG Dead Space anymore, huh?
You can probably buy it on PC. There's always on the PC. But this was the remaster looks... Yeah, the remaster looks really, really good.
Yeah, I watched the first 20 minutes on IGN. It looks great.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to trade in a couple games. I have Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Switch, which is too freaking hard. But it's nice. It's really good, but it's freaking hard. And I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to trade this in and get a very scary game, which might be as hard to beat. But that's on the 2D section. And on the VR section, we'll probably talk about it next week of what we played in VR. But thanks to everyone.
This is my sign off.
Oh yeah, just a wave. Oh, Siri's saying that was a terrible idea. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching and listening. We will catch you next week.